Hello guys and girls, welcome to my channel. This is my first video. We're going to start an HTML course that you will learn the fundamentals of this language and also practice a lot with me. So the first lecture has a lot of theory. We will learn what is HTML and also we will run HTML on our browser. We will run our first file, our first project of HTML in a web browser. So, what is HTML? It is an acronym for Hypertext Markup Language. So it is not a programming language because it don't have the functions, the resources to be a programming language. We'll talk more about this later. So it is a language to structure web pages. We use HTML to build our pages. You can write titles, text, put images. So when you visit a site that you like, maybe Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn, they have a lot of HTML to build this site. And about HTML to not be a programming language is because of these points. It don't have if-else statements, so we can't do conditionals, we can't do loops, we can't create functions, we can't code with other paradigms like object orientation. So basic resources of many programming languages are not present in HTML, and that are reasons to HTML not be considered a programming language. And I wrote here that it is an integrant of the web triad. So we use a lot of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript in the front end, and they are the base of a website, a base of front end. So whenever you enter a website, you will see these three languages together. A website has some HTML, some CSS, and maybe JavaScript. Another interesting point is that HTML can be executed in a web browser. It doesn't need any installation or setup. So we can write HTML on a text editor like Word or Notepad and open the file in the web browser. And the browser will interpret this HTML and we will see what we coded in the file on the browser. So the last point is a web page has HTML. So whenever you access a website, you will see a lot of HTML. I talked earlier about the structure. So what is the structure that HTML can create for us? Basically, are elements that we see in text editors like Microsoft Word, as I said before. We will create titles, paragraphs, list of items, another lists, ordered lists, tables like Excel tables with rows and columns. We will put images on our site, background images, or a gallery of images. We can create a lot of elements with HTML. And I put in the last point that these elements will build our website. If you pay attention on a website, you will see that these points that I mentioned here will be present in every website. So in this course, we will learn and use a lot of them. The main object is to teach you how we build a website. So the last slide here in theory, next we will go to the practice, we will run our first HTML, is how to run HTML in a web browser. Like I said before, we just need a web browser to run it. So first, we will create our code with the help of a code editor like Visual Studio Code. This is the most code editor used nowadays. So we can create files and we will create a file with the station.html and we will write HTML code in there or maybe just text. The web browser can interpret on text. We don't need to write explicit HTML. So we are going to learn in baby steps. Each lesson we will learn a new resource so you can stay calm. The main purpose is that you internalize all the knowledge I will pass to you here and also for the rest of the course. Well, finally, after the file created and saved, we will open this file in a tab of our browser. So let's see in practice how can we run HTML on browser. And first we need the code editor. So I will install the Visual Studio Code. You can search in Google for VS Code. The first link will take you to the main page of the software. Normally, the Visual Studio Code can see operational system you are using, so they offer the correct version to download. So you need to click here and the download starts. With the .exe download, you just need to click in the next button sometimes, so the editor will be installed in your PC. And after that, we will create your file. I will open my editor here. Your editor will look like mine, but you need to open a folder to do the work, to code. So you can go in the File option, Open Folder. Here, you will open a folder to create your project. I will use this HTML folder here. So this is how the editor, the VS Code, shows the folder. And next we will click with the right mouse button to into new file. Here you will write index.html. So this is our first page. Here you can write HTML code. So because this is the first lesson, I will not explain everything about HTML code. I just want to execute this on my browser. So I will write an element to render in the browser like this, h1 my title. This is a tag, an element for titles. So we are going to write this, save the file. You can press Ctrl plus S to save, or click in File and Save. So now we have our file. We can copy the path with right button, copy path, and next we need to open our browser. Here in the browser, open a new tab and press Ctrl plus V. This is the path of my computer to the file. So we hit enter, and this is our first HTML running on our browser. So this is how a site is built, but we need to learn a lot of things to reproduce a real website. But don't worry, we'll learn this until the end of this course. Okay, so we end here our first lesson. Please subscribe to my channel if you like the lesson, and see you in the next.